All right, now we've got things taken care of. What is up, y'all? It is KreyzMcKormik up in this motherfucking bitch. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened when it concerns that dumb shit. I was trying to change the display on this, the background, the green screen, if you will, and shit just fucking shut down. So unfortunately, I ended up having to restart it, open up a new stream, all of that jazz. I'm not showing butthole. I know as much as everybody wants to see butthole. I'm not butthole Ben, and I'm not Slayer 17. I see the butthole. I don't show it. I see the butthole. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get into some shit. But before I do, I just want to remind everybody: links in the description below for the Asylum benefit, as well as the Sister Hatchet shit. Um, we're still doing all of that, and not to mention Streamlabs that are donated to me for the month of June as well as the month of July. All of that shit is going directly to Asylum, and we're gonna go ahead and get into some shit now. First and foremost, I am gonna have to start this off with a little bit of a sad note with the Juggalo community. I know a lot of people have already found out about this shit. It's been said, it's been done. Um, but I have not said anything about it. So rest in peace goes out to the legendary Bushwick Bill. A lot of people have been posting, talking about that, and everything when it concerns Bushwick Bill, legendary in hip hop. But I'll be honest with you, I never really got much into listening to the Ghetto Boys or anything like that. That does not take away from the fact that I can give respect where respect is due when it concerns the history of hip hop and the things that Ghetto Boys have done to actually fucking uh culminate the hip the hip hop world and everything of that nature. Most of the stuff that I've actually just heard from Bushwick Bill has really just been features with psychopathic and things of that nature. It wasn't until I uh, listened to Behind the Paint on audiobook that I come to find out that like him and Scarface and Willie D all like they were the ones. I believe they were the ones that ended up, dabbling into the element of horrorcore. Like Assassins and ICP ended up fucking covering that shit and everything. And I did hear, along the grapevine when it concerned the passing of Bushwick Bill. There's been so many artists that have actually put that shit out there, rest in peace and everything. And yeah, I agree, Yo Yo Mama. I also thought that it was made up shit, but you know, we all knew that he was in stage 4 pancreatic cancer. We just didn't know how long he was going to, he was going to be able to survive and everything. And unfortunately, prior to the gathering, he ended up passing away. But the way I look at it, with the time spent on this earth, he as long as well as everybody else that was in everybody else that was in Ghetto Boys ended up doing something with hip hop, creating the horrorcore element, uh, and things of that nature. So, uh, one thing I will say before I pass on to the next thing is I do remember one incident that I had with Bushwick Bill. It's very minor and still fun. I thought it was funny then. I still think it's funny now. And this is what it is. It actually dates back to what the fuck? Frog in my throat. Okay, so I got that taken care of. That little lung butter. So this dates back to the gathering of the Juggalos in 2012. I ended up going to that, and the final time that the gathering of the Juggalos was in Cave Rock, Illinois. So what ended up happening, my involvement involving Bushwick Bill like I said, very, very minor situation. So like I'm trying to watch. I don't remember who was on stage, but like by the time that this event ended up going down, my my fucking dogs were barking. My feet were killing me, um, and everything. So I'm sitting there. I'm leaning up against a trash can, and all of a sudden I feel this fucking push on my face, and I turn around and it's this bulbous ass, and I look up. Bushwick Bill is sitting there trying to tag the fucking trash can that I'm leaning on. I was like, I got about. He didn't apologize or say excuse me or nothing like that. But like, just I got fucking ass faced by a midget, and I couldn't fucking help but laugh at the fact that this ended up happening. I turned around and I ended up talking to. I was with aggravated Amanda at the gathering at the time, and I turned around. I was just like, "Did you just see what happened?" She's like, "What?" I was just like, "Bushwick Bill just fucking hit me in the face with his ass." She's like, "Well, that wasn't cool." I was like, "I don't care. It's Bushwick Bill." Fucking like what? She's like, "What was he trying to do?" He's trying to fucking tag that trash can. This is pure fucking pandemonium going on at this gathering already as it was anyways. I mean, shit. This isn't something that I'm against actually seeing or anything like that. But Shanzi, one thing you've got to remember though, it wasn't just any booty. It was Bushwick Bill's booty. So that is not a fucking that is not a downside whatsoever. I made physical contact with Bushwick Bill. Sure, it was his ass, and sure, it was my face, but I made physical contact with Bushwick Bill. And on top of that, I did it before Sid Jones did. So there's that. Um, with that being said, rest in peace to the legendary Bushwick Bill. Most condolences and all of that shit go out to his family. All of that stuff. Um, it's not my it's not like it's something personal close to me, so I can't be like, oh, blah 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 blah. I can understand the legend behind the Ghetto Boys, and I can respect the legend behind the Ghetto Boys, even though I've never really listened to them all that much, other than Bushwick Bill being on like fucking guest appearances on Twisted's album, when he was on Green Book and shit of that nature. So and also I think he was on something with Psychopathics from Outer Space. There you go. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next thing. Let's try to have a little bit of fun here, shall we? Let's talk about the. We're not gonna get into. We're not gonna get too much into the Mayo versus Miracle Whip segment. Not yet. First things I want to get out of the way, because I wanted to get the Bushwick Bill thing out of the way, and then we're gonna go ahead and have some fun. And the first thing that I want to talk about is my fucking trip down to Indianapolis, Indiana, to go see Insane Clown Posse for the Fury Fest. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, I don't like making footage and all of that other stuff. So I have no footage, I have no pictures of anything involving those events, because personally, I feel like going to a show is one of those things that you have to experience on your own. And I'm experiencing this and having a great time as I'm looking around and seeing half the crowd with fucking cell phones live streaming the shit out of this show. And I'm like, how do you enjoy that? How do you enjoy live streaming this on Facebook or live streaming this on YouTube if you have over 1,000 subscribers, and fucking, watching the show through your screen? This is one of those things that just makes absolutely no fucking sense to me. It's annoying. Um, it to me, I find it incredibly annoying to watch all of these other people watching this shit through their through their phones. It's annoying to see this type of stuff. Um, just enjoy the show. Yes, I understand that, we live in an age now where, this is, like cell phones and smartphones and all of that stuff heavily prominent and everything. But doesn't anybody just stop and look at things, you know, soak them in? Is this the only way that we're going to be able to remember some of the things that we witness? Stop fucking recording shit. Like, not everybody is a journalist. Okay, not everybody is a journalist. Take a picture or two, you know. Maybe that's something that you need, something for the scrapbook. But sitting there and just recording it for an entire hour, you're not Bobby Doe, who was there, by the way. And I ended up bumping into quite a few people. Um, One of the people that I was there with, I ended up going down there with Echo Side Fiend. Uh, you know, met Coma Black uh, again. This is like the second time I think I've actually been in physical presence of Coma Black. Sean Z, of course, was there. Um, DC Fago guy and Migs ended up coming down over to witness the spectacle as well. And yeah. Now, one thing I will say though, aside from the show, is that with Coma Black being there, it has been over 2 years since he ended up winning the Juggalo a Day contest that we held for the best banner and the best fucking avatar. Oh yes, that's right. How could I forget the sex symbol of Tales from the Lotus podcast, Scottish Misfit? He was definitely there as well. Uh, and of course he, I thought that was actually pretty cool though. Scottish ended up taking time out of his day of killing hookers to come witness his first ever show. So like this was the first time he had ever gone to see ICP. And it was actually cool. Like, I will say this though, like with as loud as it was in there, like from time to time, it was pretty difficult uh, having a conversation with him due to the loudness of the room as well as his fucking stutter. But I tried to make the best of it. He got his shit. He wasn't gonna die till he got it. Yeah, that's basically what it was. So like, I got to tell you about the story. Uh, so so when I found out that Coma Black was going to be coming to the show, like I text messaged him and I confirmed it whether or not he was actually going to be here, and he said yeah. Um, I was like, all right, cool, because I'm gonna be down. I'm gonna be going down there too, and I am definitely bringing your copy of Morton's List so you can finally have this motherfucker. And so with so like at first he was, I'm pretty sure he was kind of like, yeah, whatever, but I was like, no, like I know he's there. Cool. This is gonna make it so that way I can actually give this to him so I can stop fucking feeling bad about not giving it to him, not giving him this fucking game, because like he, like I fucking owed him Lannister style. Lannisters always pay their debts, and like, granted, it was 2.5 years. Yeah, I finally fucking got him this motherfucker to a point. Like, it had taken it to a point where it pretty much became like some sort of a lore as to whether or not this thing actually exists. And I was bound and determined to actually get him this motherfucker. So before I left, I actually stuffed this motherfucker in my bag. So that way I made damn sure that he was going to have this motherfucker. One way or another, he was going to have this sumbitch. And so, I finally fucking got it for him. Now here's a continuation of the story though. I got bored at where I was staying at, and I decided to actually stay over, like to go over to Echo Side's hotel because everybody was meeting up over there anyways. So I fucking rolled up over there, and once I got to the hotel, I realized that I fucking left the goddamn game at the spot. So I contacted who I was staying with in order to get over there, and asked if they could bring it. They did, so, to my surprise, because like I swore Tacoma up and down, one way or another, you are leaving this city with the game. I was refusing outright to make it so he was not leaving the city of Indianapolis without that copy of Morton's List. It had been 2 years, and I have been feeling so guilty about leaving this motherfucker hanging for this long a time. God damn it, this is happening. It's here. I'm here. He's here. I'm getting him this fucking game. So luckily, they ended up fucking the people I was staying with, they ended up bringing the game with them. They found it, and after the show, I went to go grab it, handed it to him personally. As I was walking with it in my hand, I could hear him just say, "The legend is true." Like, it's more than just folklore. It is reality. You did actually get me this motherfucker, and I've been sitting on it for 2 fucking years. This is the problem that I have whenever somebody tries to ask me a favor. It doesn't pan out when they want it to happen, and I'm constantly busy, constantly doing other things. Prime example, and Echo Side can attest to this shit, because we ended up taking a pit stop on the way down to Indianapolis, and he fucking he and I stopped at a rest area so we could go to the bathroom and I could have a cigarette, and we're sitting there as I'm smoking, and we're in a real heavy conversation and everything. All of a sudden, both of us just stopped talking so we could watch a fucking squirrel. A squirrel, a black one at that. Black squirrel sitting there eating chips that somebody gave it, and then it ate a little bit of chips, and then it fucking went over and started eating the seeds out of those little helicopter thingies that that fall off the trees. I don't know what the fuck they are. Apparently they're seeds of some sort, but nevertheless, I finally got it to him. And now he can go off and do some really fucked up shit with that fucking game. And apparently on Amazon, there are a lot of yeah uh, uh there's a lot of other expansions and things of that nature. No, they weren't acorns. I know what acorns are. No, no. I'm talking about those little things that fall off the trees. Everybody calls them helicopters. Like when it comes down, it goes around in a circle, kind of like a helicopter propeller. Like here in Michigan, maybe more states. I don't know, but I've always called them helicopters. Crazy hooked up with Jamie and blamed CPN fam? No, 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 no. I will definitely say this. I did not hook up with Jamie, but while I was in Indianapolis, I definitely laid pipe. That's right. I definitely laid pipe. Now, the people that need to know already know, and the people that don't need to know, well, you'll find out soon enough. Now, that's about as far as I'm going to get with that fucking situation. Let's go ahead and talk about the show. So, I ended up fucking going to the show. We walked in, and in the middle of it, fucking Ouija was doing his set. Ouija ended up fucking, Ouija ended up fucking signing autographs at one point. So I ended up standing in line because I wanted to get some merch. Uh, one of the shirts that I ended up getting, uh, basically there was only two things that I bought for myself, and one, yeah, good Wolf. No, 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 Yo-Yo Mama. Laying pipe is a sexual euphemism. My plumbing got taken care of. 'Cause I laid pipe. You know, laying pipe, dipping the wick, vulcanizing the whoopee stick in the ham wallet. Shut up, flannel. You don't need to be playing the guessing game. Let's just continue on to the other important shit. Okay, so let's talk about the show. Okay, so like I said, Ouija was there. He ended up fucking doing his shit and fucking ended up signing autographs. At the time, I didn't have anything on me. So no, Shawnzy, you wouldn't know if it was you. You were so fucking drunk that night, which I'm gonna be getting into. I'm gonna be getting into that in a minute. So like, I had nothing for him to sign. He's just, he's like, you got something for me to sign. Apparently, he didn't recognize me, which is fine. I'm not popular enough yet. He will know me at some point in time. This is the goal, is to get Ouija Mac to actually address me by name. Eventually, I want to hear him say KreyzMcKormik at some given point in time. I want to see that shit. Crazy laid pipe with Sid Jones's girl. That's why Sid has been flexing lately. As sexy as she is, no. I'm just gonna ignore that shit from here on out. So anyways, yeah, I had nothing on me. All I had was the shirt that I was gonna fucking wear, and well, I mean, it is what it is when it concerns Ouija. But I was actually wearing my Gamer Man shirt, and I was just like, here, sign this motherfucker. Just basically just shoving the NES Man t-shirt in his, up in there, and he signed that motherfucker. So I had him sign that. I didn't buy any of this shit. Instead, I ended up buying a Juggalo for Life shirt, which I did have sitting around here somewhere. I think this is it. I actually had to take this shirt off because the green screen was kind of affecting it wrong. But you should be able to see enough of it to basically get the point. So yeah, all of the green on this, and apparently the yellow. Like, the yellow is kind of affected as well. But nevertheless, though, I ended up getting that shirt, and I also bought myself a physical copy of Flip the Rat. Ouija signed the inside of his fucking hat. Dude, I saw that shirt and I was just like, why wouldn't I get this? Like, why wouldn't I get the fucking Juggalo for Life shirt? It's me. Look here. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfucker. Like, why wouldn't I get that fucking shirt? Rumor is true, Mario is down with the clown. So, with that being said, fuck it. Like, the way I look at it, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got that. I got myself a physical copy of Flip the Rat. Now I have to torrent the motherfucker so that way I can actually listen to it, because I do not want to open that motherfucker up. Like, I got 2 copies of Fearless Fred Fury unopened. I have an unopened copy of Flip the Rat. I'm just gonna say to hell with it and not even bother opening it up. I'll just torrent the fucking album so that way I can just put it on. I can put it on fucking my Google Play and listen to it there. And with that being said, we continue. Shawnzy disappears. I guess he went straight to the merch booth, and he fucking goes, he goes outside, and he ends up fucking, putting his shit in his car, and he has zero interest in Mushroom Head. Why, I don't know. I think Mushroom Head is awesome. Is it just because Jeffrey Nothing is no longer on there? I have no idea. I'm not really one to pry. But then Ritz is also up on there. Now, I have little to no knowledge on Ritz, except he was on Strange. But apparently he ended up starting up his own label. And during this entire time, fucking Ouija, throughout Ouija Mac, Mushroom Head, and Ritz, Shanzi goes to this bowling alley next door with Coma, and he fucking goes and gets drunk. Apparently, they sell like these big gulp-sized fucking beers. Um, I never really got into Ritz, but apparently they gave Shanzi these big gulp-sized beers, and he got fucking litty. I did not see him at all until uh, until ICP showed up. By then, he was fucked up, and he was just like, he was definitely in fucking Shanzi mode. Um, yeah, wait, Shanzi get drunk? No way. Way, dude, way. Shanzi getting drunk. Who'da thunk it, right? Um, I ended up spending a vast majority of my time, just kind of, like walking around and trying to have a smoke, go get a water or something like that. The reason why Shanzi ended up going to the fucking going to the fucking bowling alley instead of going to, get drunk at the venue was because the Citadel doesn't even have its liquor license yet. This motherfucking place. Oh my god. For one, they don't have a liquor license. All they sold was fucking uh yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The fucking they had no liquor license. They really fucked up on the smoking section. Like the smoking section was only like fucking 10 feet away from the door. You couldn't go outside in the front. It's not like they couldn't have just given you a fucking sticker or something like that, or a stamp or something in order for them to let you outside and free roam a little bit. Like, do you really have to fucking go out in this back area? This back area was bullshit. So, like, I mean, shit, you try to have a cigarette, you fucking burn your own arm on accident because there's literally no room. Like, you're sitting here like this. Like, there's literally no room. Like, it felt like being in the very front row of an ICP show with the amount of people that were fucking smoking. Like, that smoking area was tiny, and it was bullshit. Like, it was 10 feet away from the door and like 100 feet going down the fucking back of the building. Like, and there was like another 15, 20 feet of spot that they could have pushed out. They didn't think this through. So, fuck the Citadel. Like, that place fucking sucks. Maybe next time they might have a little bit of a better situation, where individuals can go outside and have a cigarette. I'd like a little bit of a place to roam. I really don't want to just be sitting there. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I have a problem with standing still because I can't. Like, my legs constantly move. I pace when I smoke. If I'm not sitting down, I pace when I smoke a cigarette. So there's that. And then at least for people like Shanzi, I hope they get their liquor license soon, so that way Shanzi doesn't have to leave the place in order to get fucked up. But I'm sure that, like I said, I try to do my type of shit to remain as optimistic as possible about this type of stuff. Um, yeah, and I hate no reentry places. Could you imagine how bad it would be if the Gathering had no reentry? Like, how fucked up would that be? This is the reason why people cut the fence. People legitimately bring shit to cut their fences out so that way you can uh, perform a reentry. So Mushroom Head was actually pretty fun. Ouija, as much as I got to see it, that was also fun to watch. Um, and then on top of that, there was also Ritz, which, as I said before, I never really got into Ritz. So Ritz, all right, whatever. Um, now, of course, there ended up being ICP. And ICP kills it as always. They ended up opening up the show with a couple of songs from Fury. Most of the stuff that they did was old shit. To our surprise, everybody in this crew, to our surprise, they did not perform Chicken Hunting. Like we've gone to so many fucking clown shows and shit that like we're used to Chicken Hunting playing, and so like when Chicken Hunting isn't playing, we're kind of stunned. so so that was interesting to say the least. To go to an ICP show and they did not do Chicken Hunting. But at the same time, it's like, I believe ICP ended up saying before that, like they know it's a Juggalo favorite, but it's just one of those things where it's like you kind of get sick and tired of playing the same song at every show for 25 years and then some. These guys have been doing this shit for 30 fucking years, and like ever since Riddlebox came out, you know, ever since Riddlebox came out, almost every show they've been doing Chicken Hunting. So like I can understand why they wouldn't want to do it anymore. No skin off my back. It's not like I'm gonna be like, well, they stopped singing Chicken Hunting. I guess I'm gonna drop the hatchet now. So so there is that, and the ride home ended up being quicker than getting it ended up being a little bit quicker than the drive down to the motherfucking place. And of course, y'all know me and how hard I am when I grind. As soon as we get back to Echo Side's house, I just grabbed all of my shit, threw it in the fucking car, and went directly to work. And what did I ended up doing? Was roadie. I ended up doing roadie gigs from then on until about 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. And to my surprise, due to the way that the weather had been over the weekend, there were a lot of airplane delays. So I picked up a shit ton of luggage. I made $300 that night from 5 p.m. until getting home at 4 a.m. And I made that much money. And people try to say that this stuff that I do is not good with money and all of that shit. $300 in one night. How do you say no to that? Unfortunately, though, since we're on the subject, what crazy house podcast would it be without me talking about my job and my finances? So as of right now, I'm like $400 in the hole. Due to the lack of work and stuff that I had over the weekend and stuff of that nature. Unfortunately, my bank account ended up going about $420 in the hole as of right now. But it is what it is when it concerns you trying to work in a new job and everything. So it's whatever. Nothing I can't handle. I'll be able to take care of it. Y'all know me. My hustle and my grind game is hella hard and hella tough. So, I'll be able to get that. I'll be able to get that scratch back. And then, what's the next thing to do? See y'all at the gathering. So, moving right along, let's go into this mayonnaise versus Miracle Whip thing. And yes, the rumors are absolutely true. It is exactly what you think it is. It is talking about the whole situation with Mac Lethal and Tom MacDonald. So, as you can see up here, what this basically pertains to is the fact that Mac Lethal ends up posting this little tweet, and and apparently it got Tom MacDonald all butthurt. Now, according to what was said by Mac Lethal, he wasn't naming names. This white dude who raps about how white dudes are super oppressed is garbage. I don't know his name, not gonna learn it. His bars are fucking awful, and he can shove his entire lone rent aesthetic up his ass. Now, that was the catalyst, apparently. And Tom McDonald ended up also posting some of the other tweets in this music video that he made called Lethal Injection. And we are going to be fucking covering this track, as well as the other two tracks before we get on to the next thing. So, in a sense, this is basically going to be, a review. This is me reviewing these beefs. Now, the last major beef that I actually gave a shit about was the fucking beef when it concerned, um, ICP and Eminem. So I don't know a whole lot about fucking rap beefs, but I mean, this started off on Twitter. Shouldn't have just stayed on Twitter? Isn't that how rappers are beefing these days? It's just making tweets. So, with that being said, I mean, this is probably going to be a biased point of view just due to the fact that Mac Lethal ended up saying something about this. Mac Lethal posted this. He left it pretty vague of who it was that he was talking about. And Tom McDonald was the first person to respond to this. So let's go ahead and kick into this.
I talk shit about Tom McDonald and didn't realize it.
Tell me if you can hear this. All right. So, you are already seeing some of these. Okay, so, all right. All right, cool. Then I'll restart it, but we're going to go through some of these tweets first, though. All right, so first off, you've got this tweet. Yep. Whoa. Okay, hello. I'm here to appropriate black culture while simultaneously whining about how white people are victims. Okay, so hold up. We're going to go ahead and get this started. There we go. Now y'all can hear it.
I talk shit about Tom McDonald and didn't realize it. So many of my fans were his fans, and now they're all mad at me. So
you spelt I haven't been relevant in years, and I'm super fucking jealous wrong, bro. I've sold out your city twice. Maybe you can open next time. All right, so it's funny to me. It's honestly, it is kind of funny to me that like what the fuck? He didn't necessarily start anything. And Tom McDonald, as far as I'm concerned, ended up taking the whole situation wrong. But and I ended up saying this before this next tweet came up.
I'm just gonna tell him that I was talking about somebody else.
Right here. Yeah, because he was talking about somebody else. First of all, I don't know who you are and haven't heard your music until now. That tweet was about you, someone much small. That tweet was about someone much smaller than you. However, if you feel like it applies to you, fine, I'll play along. I don't think your aesthetic is low rent, though. Your videos are very well produced. I also don't see any videos of you outright saying white men are oppressed, but maybe I didn't watch the right ones? Which leads to my next point. I have 2 million more YouTube subscribers than you. My views are down 40% this month, and your views are up 50%. And I still have 1 million more views than you. I've also sold the club you're talking about over 40 times. I didn't bring any of this relevancy shit up, though. You did. This is art, not a competition. I wish you success and luck. So the way I look at it, take a look. Fucking Mac Lethal is actually being generous and giving the dude the benefit of the doubt. And then what ends up happening? Fucking Tom McDonald ends up just negating everything that was said. Like, Mac Lethal was giving him a bone. He was throwing him a bone and ended up saying, okay, look, bruh, here you go. Like, here's the bone. Let's move on because both of us probably got shit to do. Let's see. There are literally 3 songs Tom speaks on white oppression: "White Boy," "This House," and "Straight White Male." Okay, so this is more recent tracks, as what you're saying to me, Mox. But like he says at the very top, I don't know who you are and haven't heard your music until now. The only I honestly the only reason why I personally know about Tom McDonald is because of the shit that's going on with over the Nova Rockefeller thing, where she was posting a tweet from Violent J of the Insane Clown Posse, Joe Bruce. And then what we ended up seeing was at some point he posted a fucking tweet of him fucking Nova Rockefeller, and the all you can really see is her legs wrapped around his fucking pancake cookie sheet ass, and that's all that it was. So let's go ahead and get into this. I want to hear some of the lyricism.
That's it. Yeah. I was talking about somebody else. You believe me, right? Right?
Oh, shit. Alright. Man, who gave this old man Twitter?
Okay, so right there, old man. He starts off with an old man joke. Old man joke. Now I've been seeing a lot of other people's responses to this, and I'm like, yo, how in the fuck are you gonna call him? How in the fuck are you gonna say that's a diss towards Mac Lethal? Mac Lethal, started in his 20s. You're like what, 30 now? And not to mention saying old, saying old to another rapper. Like, okay, so you're gonna say that basically you're not just attacking Mac Lethal at this point. You're attacking every old head. You know what I'm saying? Every single fucking old head that is in the fucking game. And you don't want to do that because a lot of the motherfucking old heads in the rap game will bury you. If not fucking no, he's 30, dude. Tom McDonald is 30. And let's keep in mind that let's see, first off, Lil Wayne ended up saying something about how he wanted to fucking retire from the rap game by the age of 29 because hip hop is a young man's game. And he said that shit when he was on top. Yes, really, he's 30. Look it up. Wikipedia does not lie. At least not anymore. Like, you have to pay to make Wikipedia lie. But anyways, as I'm saying, who gave this old man Twitter? Okay, so why? Because he's a few years, because Mac Lethal's a few years older than you, because he's a legend in the fucking, Mac Lethal is a fucking legend when it concerns the battle rap. So, Eminem is also a fucking legend in the battle rap world. So he's old too. So I would say vicariously, you're dissing Eminem. You're also dissing MC Cool Herc. Anytime that you disrespect somebody in the same field as you just because of their age, it really shows that you have absolutely no respect for the field that you're trying to popularize yourself in, regardless of color.
Who taught him how this works? Someone tell him when he mentions me, do research first.
Okay, then you should probably do the same thing. And oh my god, dude, that's tinfoil right there. Dude, you're supposed to smoke the cigarettes and throw away the pack. You're not supposed to fucking put the shit up on there. That really fucks up your teeth. Trust me, I know.
He just old and bitter. Can't hit him where it hurts. Cause it's impossible to make this guy look any worse. Hey, the world forgot about Mac. Now
no. I have not forgotten about Mac Lethal whatsoever. And that's the truth. As a matter of fact, I had just recently found out about Mac Lethal. Not too far away, I will say that.
The world forgot about Mac. Now you can't eat Ramadan fast. That Oxycontin you put up your nostril finally rot your brain, or where you always wag. Whoa, I should go slow. I don't want you back on the dope. It ain't a joke when you're going broke and you got a daughter at home.
Ooh. Okay. First off, yes, Yo Mama. I mean, you should see him in color, for one. For two, the thing about the junkie shit, like, he used to do pills and stuff like that. Mac Lethal actually ended up making a track talking about his pill addiction and things of that nature, and in the end, it ended up becoming somewhat of a fucking advertisement for Kratom, in a way. But he was basic, uh, but the way I look at it, though, I'm glad that Mac Lethal actually improved himself. Now he does yoga, he trains in jujitsu and things of that nature. And it actually led to a more positive thing rather than him fucking rapping about making pancakes. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I know that there's a lot of people. I remember talking to my boy Vinny about this shit, and even back in the day, like, he used to talk about fucking beefs and battle raps and shit. You don't, like, I understand I understand a portion of the fucking game, but I think it's a little bit of a low blow to actually fucking bring up somebody's fucking family. Whether it be your girlfriend, your wife, or, like, the other person's wife or girlfriend, or even their kids. Like, you really didn't have to fucking bring up the daughter, dog. Like, that to me was a downplay. GQ, motherfucker.
And you got a daughter at home. Leave me alone, you old man. Your career is a joke. It's so sad.
Okay, look. I know it's like, I know I stopped this a lot, but I'm breaking this down. He says, "Leave me alone, you old man." He was not talking about you. You know what I say? You know what I'm saying? Like, he was not speaking about you on Twitter to begin with. So why should he leave you alone? You were the first person to actually respond to this shit. So as far as I'm concerned, this is all your fault. And if what he said on Twitter bothered you that much, like, if a tweet bothered you that much, then it's the same situation as what I was talking about in a prior episode, where the boy Blue was fucking crying about that one kid who was, like, so proud to be a fucking jobless hobo scrub, and when Shaggy 2 Dope told him, "Nah, fam, it ain't like that," and see, bro ended up fucking like, got butthurt because of that shit. And it's this, like, Blue got butthurt over Dude, and it's practically the same thing with you at this point. If what Mac Lethal said on Twitter offended you, it's probably because you're doing it. And he didn't even know that, so what the fuck ever. So now here you are perpetrating this shit.
Your biggest record is a cover song while you cooking breakfast. You ain't no dad.
Hey, pancakes are awesome, so do not hate on pancakes.
Fucking housewife, fucking washed up, fucking never ever had a sound. How you rap with ICP and still end up the biggest clown?
Now that's funny to me, especially, like, even prior to listening to Mac Lethal's diss, I thought that was fucking funny as hell. It's like, oh shit, you're still gonna fucking bring up ICP. Gee, who's on the nut ride train? Who is on the nut ride train? Mac Lethal? No, Mac Lethal? No. Tom McDonald? Yes. Tom McDonald's on the nut ride train. Tom McDonald's on the nut ride train.
Mac Lethal? What's lethal about him? Old age, stroke face, a relapse going back to his old ways, a suicide because no fame? You ain't a real artist, you just retarded. You a weak target, I feel bad for killing. You rap fast, but every bar's filler. We kept Lethal, but we lost Miller.
Ooh. That one, all right, I'll give him that one. Like that one actually is a pretty fucking good bar. I like that. Tom is the guy who is so against social justice warrior rapper, and Mac made him look like the biggest, easiest offended SJW ever. So Mac wins. All Tom did was make Mac look old. That one I'll agree with on that one. Stitches was also on the song that was just referenced. Yes, Church. But like also at the same time, Mac just got back from the ICP tour. So like he was on the tour with ICP and like for the Fearless Fred Fury tour, and like I can't lie, that was hard, but at the same time it's like, okay, Mac Miller recently died, and well, I believe that was also over a drug overdose if I'm not mistaken. But you're like, yeah, that one line was cold, brah. One. Can you